This is Mikey.
And I'm Garrison Rifen. This is Cinema Debrief. Welcome to Cinema Debrief, episode 20 of this brand new fledgling podcast starring the Michael Knipp. How are you doing tonight, Michael Knipp?
What is up, Garrison, man? I love the first weekend in May. I mean, because the summer movie season buzz is just really upon us. But then also it's free comic book day. I got this gem right here. This Dungeon Crawler Carl going for $20 on eBay right now.
Are you serious?
Yeah, and I looked at the sold listings. There is Dungeon Crawler Carl fever right now for some reason. I mean,
let me just say, fair warning to anyone who wants to get into it. There's a lot of language.
Yeah.
So I don't know how the comic is. Maybe it's more kid friendly, but
I just skimmed it. I did not notice anything, but who knows? I mean, you never know with that type of stuff. But in Dungeon Crawler Carl, even though we're a film podcast, there is going to be a TV streaming series on Peacock. So Peacock trying to save themselves in every little way they can, even though they're the least profitable of the streaming services, although they claim that they're about to hit profitability. We'll see.
Well, there was an interesting episode of The Town about that. So I don't want to go on too long about that necessarily. You can check out Matt Bellamy's podcast for kind of real industry discussion on why that's happening. And but
we are not industry insiders here.
No, but it's very interesting to kind of look at the numbers. I keep track of the streaming numbers ever since they started kind of compiling them on Hollywood Reporter, and then I've continued to do it myself by going through the annual reports that they put out, their quarterly reports and their annual reports. And Peacock's the only one to not get out of negative net profit every year, which is crazy. But part of the reason for that is because of sports. They're really trying to get into sports, and they've had to pay really big sports contracts, and they're dumping all the sports contracts on the Peacock ledger specifically. So
makes sense. I mean, the only sport that I watch on there is the English Premier League. I am a soccer fan, and so I do watch my beloved Liverpool on Peacock when I can. They're early morning matches, so sometimes I don't watch them. But yeah, I mean, and they have the Olympics, and so that was probably and they will probably in perpetuity have the Olympics. Unless they do some deal where Amazon or somebody gets a little bit. But yeah, I mean, I root for Peacock, but to be honest, their programming has never been that great.
Their original programming, I don't really care about. And a lot of it, weirdly, you would think they would be more profitable because a lot of it's reality show cheap stuff. But
mostly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Big news coming out theatrically this weekend. I want to touch on the first part of this aspect. Narnia is moving from Thanksgiving weekend to February 12th and is now getting a 49-day theatrical release. And and then it'll be on Netflix April 2nd, 2027. That's huge. And I mean, that's huge, not just because it's moved out of that spot, and there's some things we can discuss later, but because there are several people, Guillermo del Toro, Martin Scorsese, all these people have tried to, push Netflix towards doing at least longer theatrical runs, kind of like this, giving things a proper window. And the first person to actually get Netflix to do it is Greta Gerwig.
Pretty wild.
I give props to her on that because she pushed really hard for this.
I don't know how she did it, but yeah, it's pretty impressive. I mean, just think of all the travails and complaining that Rian Johnson has done over the past, and he got like a week or two on both of his Netflix movies, and that's about all he could get. So
and the first one, Glass Onion, did so well that there were a lot of people in the industry going, why do you not just keep this in theaters? It's not going to cost you a whole lot to keep it in theaters, and it was showing good legs, and then you just pulled the rug right underneath it. And I think part of this is the Warner Brothers deal. I think They,
think so too. Yeah.
They looked at that and they had talks with theater owners at CinemaCon, and they said, why not start sending some of our bigger things to theaters? It clearly helps with word of mouth and just perception of the brand. And Narnia seems like a great first start. So I hope they keep it up with their bigger stuff.
Yeah.
And they actually make stuff worth seeing in theaters, of course. That's the big thing. But I'm glad to see it.
I am too. I mean, I'm excited for just the concept of it. It's going to be on PLFs. I mean, IMAX specifically, but I'm guessing it'll be on other PLFs also. It's not just going to be on IMAX. I mean, especially since it's getting more of a wide release than it probably previously was. The 49-day window is awesome. I hope that they keep it up. I also hope that this means that perhaps we'll get, a physical release of Narnia. We still don't have physical releases of Glass Onion, or the more recent one. I mean, so
but they've partnered with Arrow to do a Stranger Things box set. So, my hope is they'll start partnering at least with the boutique labels to start putting things like that
or
out.
Something. Yeah, I mean that'd be nice. We'll see. My whole thing is we've got yet another date open. I mean, we've got so I'm a frustrated movie goer in the sense that I am not looking forward to Doomsday.
Yeah, I get it.
I'm just not.
It's just too busy.
Especially my specific circumstance is frustrating because I'll have to go to a different theater altogether if I want to see Doomsday on a PLF. Which is frustrating. To have to drive across town if I'm going to do the whole Doomsday thing, which I probably will, and I probably will drive across town to do it, but it's just dumb. Like to go see Dune Part 3 on IMAX and then drive across town if I want to see a PLF of Doomsday. So I want them to move. I mean, I just do. I know Disney's not going to do it. They're like dead set on this release window, but I don't understand it. This is the second opportunity they've had. They could move Hexed. Like, who cares about Hexed? Like, because I mean, I know that's still on that date. So just move Hexed to next year.
Yeah.
And just give us Doomsday on IMAX, but whatever. I know you wanted to talk about it, so.
I'll be honest. I think that this would be a perfect win for Dune. Now, I know why it isn't, and I'll get to that at the end.
Right.
But to me, Dune is going to be finished first in terms of effects.
Yeah.
Doom is going to be finished first because it's going to be showing at most likely like Venice or one of those things in October.
Probably.
Because that's what they've done with the last couple films.
Yeah.
It just seems like kind of the perfect time is to release it away from Doomsday. And at the end of November makes total sense. Films at Thanksgiving can have long legs. The first film released in October had good legs. I don't know. It just seems like kind of a good window for Dune. The only problem is you sold first tickets. On release day for December 18th.
Yeah, and they can't move. It would have to be Doomsday that would do it, and Disney's just not going to do it. They're not going to move. They're dumb.
Yeah, and someone will bring up the IMAX contract. Well, guess what? IMAX is free on
now it is
Thanksgiving, so that wouldn't matter for Dune. It's the fact that they sold tickets already.
I guess, like, if Disney wanted to put Hexed in IMAX now, they could. I mean,
yeah, I guess.
But I mean, I'm just trying to think in the past. They have had animated releases on IMAX. I mean, it's it's not abnormal.
You can also, let's say it's 185 already anyway. You could render it to be 19 a little bit. I think it's just a little bit taller. So,
or just move it and put Doomsday there, but they're not going to do it. They're not.
No, and I'll be honest. The only reason, one of the few reasons I don't want to, is because I want to let their VFX team cook, as they say.
It's only a month.
It's like half a month, but still,
but yeah, it's not even.
It's that they are working up until release a lot of the time.
Sure, they are. Yeah, no, I get it, but I mean, I'm just like, well, I don't know, and who's left over there as far as the visual effects is concerned?
Well,
they'll
visual
outsource
effects,
it.
Yeah. It's always been VFX houses that do the heavy lifting. A lot of the VFX stuff internally, I think, was really the pre-visualization stuff, but But yeah.
Well, it is what it is. I mean, I'll do Doomsday.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
I'm very frustrated that this tug of war has continued, but
that is going to be a super long day at the theater.
Well, I'm not going to do it in one day. I'll be honest.
Oh, you not? Oh,
No.
Look. I'm doing it. I mean,
no, it'll be a Thursday, Friday situation.
Nah, I'm doing it. And I'll probably even go to work the next day. I don't care. I mean, I
might take Friday off.
I thought about that, but
just depends. Also depends on if the football team I cover wins a lot of games.
Well, this is true. Yeah, you've got that to contend with, but
but
who knows?
Positive news: SAG-AFTRA has agreed to like a tentative deal, I guess.
Yeah, not official yet, but a tentative
with the
deal.
studios, and so just like the writers who have, I think, officially signed their deal at this point, they're getting very close to signing theirs. So those were the two unions that struck 3 years ago now.
Right. Yeah.
And now they're very close to signing deals. So that's good news for the industry, I think.
One thing that I didn't see on the announcement, and I didn't dig deep to find out if this was released, is if it was a longer term period than normal.
Yeah, it looks like, well, I'm not going to trust Google AI. So it is saying, but Variety is saying a 4-year deal as well. So they went, so studios wanted 5, unions wanted 3, because that was the traditional thing. And it looks like they've met in the middle on both unions so far. And the
I'll take that year.
has to agree. So yeah, I mean, it's one less interruption, there for the industry.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong here. Was the Oscars announcement because of this, where they basically said they're not going to allow any AI actor to ever be nominated?
I was so busy at school this past week that I did not look into that. It would not surprise me.
Yeah, I mean, they waited for SAG to do their deal, and then the Oscars came out, and they were basically like, in perpetuity, we will never. Now, that is impossible for them to say that in perpetuity. I mean, that can obviously change, but at least for now, no AI actors. That's fine. I get it.
Yeah, no AI actors, and the Oscars also pretty much said anything that uses generative AI visually is not allowed to be in contention.
Yeah, I mean, that's I have so many feelings about that we don't have time to get into, but I mean, I know film studios in some ways are already using AI, maybe not for the creation of the art itself, but they're using AI tools, obviously, to manage the creation of these movies in some way. So I get it.
Well,
AI thing.
Here's part of the problem. AI is such a broad term.
It is. Yeah.
The thing that helps you take this one piece of animation and then you wireframe it over to another piece of animation and help speed up the movement for that, like in the Spider-Verse movies, like they do. That's technically artificial intelligence, but it's not the same as a computer that just generates an image on its own using assets that it's been fed, that kind of thing.
So that's good, though. I'm glad for the Oscars to just make that announcement, at least for publicity and just marketing purposes. It makes people feel good about the Oscars, that they're for the man, they're not for AI. So it's all good. Well, let's dive in to my off-the-shelf pick. Speaking of no use of AI, and speaking of probably very little visual effects, I mean, most probably in-camera effects, still back in, because, 1981, I'm sure there were some visual effects used. But I chose a movie, as mentioned last week, called Outland, a movie I had never seen, even though I'm a huge Sean Connery fan. For some reason, I just had never seen this particular film. I was excited to see that Dr. Earl also watched it. It looked like for the first time. Surprising. I figured he would watch this. But along with Sean Connery, some faces that at least I recognized. Peter Boyle, he kind of plays the evil mining corporation manager, Shepard. James B. Skeeking. I recognized him right away as a character actor who had been in, I think, Search for Spock. He'd been in a ton of movies. He played the sergeant. So whereas, Sean Connery was the marshal, you had James B. Skeeting playing Sergeant Montone. Also, some faces I recognized. Clark Peters played Ballard. Not in the movie much, but he's in there a little bit. Stephen Burkhoff. He was one of the drug pushers. He played Sagan. That dude is from Octopussy, and he is awesome in Octopussy. He plays Orloff, and he is so great in that. John Ratzenberger, I almost didn't recognize him.
I didn't. I missed him.
There was one shot. He was the assassin that comes onto the mining colony. He's one of the two assassins that come onto the mining colony. He's just got so much hair and like he's wearing a hat. Like it was hard to tell it was him, but it was him. And then Frances Sternhagen, she was kind of she was the sassy doctor. I liked her. That was a good character. This was written and directed by Peter Hyams. The thing that I loved about this screenplay is that you could place this anywhere and it would work. Like it doesn't have to be on a mining colony in Jupiter. It could have been like in LA or New York, or like it's one of those screenplays that's like interchangeable, just because you've got a cop who keeps getting moved around from assignment to assignment because he's a guy on the edge, doesn't play by the rules, that type of thing. In Sean Connery's Marshall William, what is his full name in this? I can't remember the character's full name. It's Marshall William or whatever. But he and Sean Connery plays this character well. He's just good at playing, like he's been in several other movies where he plays like some type of law enforcement person, and obviously in The Untouchables, in Red Sun Rising. I mean, he's played this role. Presidio, kind of. He's a military guy in that. Same director, by the way. Peter Hyams also did Presidio. But then you also have like the evil corporate guy that is basically giving PEDs around so his guys can work longer and make him more money, thereby making the big corporation more money. So they sort of turn a blind eye to the fact that these guys are on drugs all the time. I loved all the practical effects in this. Peter Hyams loves a head explosion. There was lots of head explosions in this.
I was going to point that out. There's tons of head explosions.
Yeah, lots of head explosions. Just because you're working in zero gravity type situations, and it almost got laughable towards the end. But I'm like, okay, we've seen enough head explosions by now. And
they showed restraint on the last death in the movie.
They didn't
show a head explosion there. So
that's true. I like the sort of claustrophobic feel of the mining colony. You sort of they use the environment well, and just the mystery that's unfolding as the marshals trying to uncover like who's doing this, who's in on it. It was a fun ride. I just loved it. It's not like the best movie I've ever seen, but if you're looking for really good like 1980s sci-fi practical effects and just not that many locations, you're sort of stuck on this mining colony, and then Sean Connery being Sean Connery, he's really look, there's probably going to be some people that get mad at this, but he's kind of a one-note actor. There's not many times where he stretches himself to a point where he's doing many things different in the roles that he's playing. I mean, I don't know. He's good.
I've seen him play a British agent. I've seen him play an Asian guy as a British agent.
Yes, right. Yeah, exactly. He's good. Look, I like him in Robin and Marion. That's a little bit of a different.
I haven't seen that one, but I've heard it's good.
He is good in that, and so I'm sort of giving him a hard time. But I mean, he really only got nominated for one Academy Award. He never got nominated for anything else beyond Untouchables. It is what it is. At least he won one, but whereas Harrison Ford hasn't won an Oscar. But I liked it. What did you think of it?
Well, the movie started and it displayed a Ladd Company logo, which made me kind of laugh because Alan Ladd Jr.'s company, who helped finance this film, obviously, has been involved with a lot of sci-fi bombs.
He has. You're right. And this, I don't think this did well financially.
No, it was like a 14 budget and then a 20 million take, which is not a bomb, but it's not good.
It's what you would call a cult classic at this point.
Yeah. Kind of like Blade Runner, which came out the next year. Also Ladd Company.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. I actually was really, really, really enjoying this film. And I was looking it up before and after the film, and apparently there's a lot of people who think this is kind of a homage to High Noon.
I can see that.
That's actually kind of a hole in my kind of filmography that I've seen. I haven't seen a lot of Westerns from back in the day.
So the reason that they're saying that is the clock,
mm-hmm.
the clock that's winding, because you're waiting in high noon.
That's interesting that you say that. Yeah. Because that was kind of one of my favorite parts was the countdown.
Yep. That's exactly why they're saying that it's an homage to High Noon, because they're in High Noon. The marshal of the town is waiting for a train to arrive with assassins on the train that he knows he's going to have to defend his town. So that is why they're saying that. It works sometimes. I don't know that it worked. It got a bit too much in this, but I don't know.
When the shuttle arrives,
yes,
and like 30 people get off the shuttle, I thought, are they all assassins?
Right. No. Yeah.
And then I realized as the two guys stick back, it's like, oh, okay, it's just those two guys. I was like, yeah. Geez.
But the best, like Peter Boyle's character does a really good job of conveying to the audience, these are the best assassins ever.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's one of those things. Now, the other thing that I was I wouldn't say annoyed with, but the whole choice that Peter Hyams made to have everybody have shotguns.
Yeah, they're always loading shotgun shells. I noticed.
Not make in a futuristic
at one point, I thought the guys who were coming on the ship, the assassins, I thought that they were putting together rifles.
They had scoped shotguns.
Yeah.
It was just, I don't know if Hyams has like this affinity with shotguns, but it's just a really weird choice.
You would think an assassin on a spaceship, and maybe I'm wrong here, you would think he would not want to have a shotgun.
No.
I don't think anybody would really have a bad idea on a spaceship.
I'm guessing, at least from a visual effects standpoint, it probably did save them some money not having them be like laser guns or something.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, where you don't have to go in post and do any visual. I mean, you're just doing your standard squibs with shotguns. I mean, it just keeps the budget down, I guess. But it just seemed, and I understand, like I said at the beginning, where you can sort of like the quality of the script is that you could put it in any setting.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're going to choose to do it in a science fiction setting, you need to maybe use a different type of, I don't know what type of gun you would use, but a shotgun just seems strange. I get it. It's a gritty, like mining colony.
Yeah.
But it's just it was still really strange.
I understood why the sheriff had it. But when like literally everybody had it,
everybody scoped shotguns and like, yeah, everybody's using shotguns. I think
like the only gun that made it to space.
The two standout characters for me, like I said, was the nurse, just because she played well off of Sean Connery, because Sean Connery has a good deadpan sass about him when he's delivering lines, and she played off really well. And then Peter Boyle also. Some of the best scenes are just Peter Boyle and Sean Connery just jabbing back and forth at each other.
I did like him continually showing up to Boyle's office, Shepard's office, and taunting him, but neither can really attack each other physically.
No,
it's just two men kind of sparring words.
Yeah.
And I did enjoy that.
And Connery's good at that. I mean, I'm giving him a hard time, but he's good at that.
The delivery from the nurse on her first line to him, I did not like. The first line she says,
she got better.
Yeah. I liked her as the film went on. That first delivery, I was like, we could have done a second take there, because that felt like super lazy.
Yeah.
But no, I really enjoyed this film. It kind of exceeded my expectations because some of the other stuff we saw this weekend I did not care for as much.
Oh, I know.
And then I sat down and watched this, and I was like, this is just a fun movie.
Yeah, exactly. Low stakes. I mean, as far as like, you kind of know what you're getting with this type of film, and so if you go in with measured expectations, it is going to probably exceed those expectations, just because. And it's interesting. I watched an extra feature that was on the Arrow disc that I've got about Peter Hyams, and I didn't realize he was a big time like outsider, like more than Lucas, to the point where like Hyams hated the studio system, similar to like Lucas did, but Lucas was able to just had business savvy whereas Himes didn't really have business savvy, so he was forced kind of throughout his whole career to work in a studio system that he didn't really like. And so he never really got to the upper echelon of those 70s and 80s directors that everybody knows. You know, that classic picture, that round table with, what is it, Scorsese? Well, no, it wasn't Scorsese. It's like Coppola, Lucas, maybe Scorsese was there.
Scorsese's a part of it.
Yeah. Spielberg, like all those guys.
Scorsese's kind of on the outside, but he's also in with that.
And Coppola too. I mean, and Coppola was kind of on the outside as well. He wanted to do his own thing with American Zoetrope, but he often ended up working with the studios as well.
Yeah.
But Hyams just never got to the point where he was, I don't know. But, you know, like I mentioned last week, a lot of people love 2010 First Contact more than 2001. I mean, they're very different films. It's almost like discussing Alien and Aliens. I mean, very different types of films in the same universe.
Yeah, it's also very different. So the book and the movie 2001 were written at the same time. I don't know if you knew that. So there's actually differences, not because it was adapted into a movie, but because Arthur C. Clarke, I think, wrote the novel differently than where Kubrick took his, basically. And I actually read 2001 before I saw it, and I really liked the novel. And then you watch the movie, and I kind of didn't like some of the changes. So I haven't watched it since I was a kid, honestly.
Yeah.
I did not care for the movie as much because I was just like, the book was better. But I also didn't realize at the time that the book was not the original source, that they were both working at the same time, which is kind of fascinating.
I've definitely seen
2010 is also different from the book, and I have read that book as well. But I've enjoyed the movie too.
Yeah, I mean, I've only seen 2010 once. Whereas 2001 I've seen a lot just because it's a Kubrick film, and every decade or so I'll do like a Kubrick rewatch or whatever. And so I've definitely seen that one more than 2010 First Contact or whatever it's called. But I remember enjoying it because it was so different than 2001. Just directed very differently, and it's almost more.
Well, my understanding is that it is a more faithful adaptation of but again, the first one isn't an adaptation, so it's kind of weird to think about it that way. But there's an actual source material for the second one, so that probably does kind of help it.
Yeah. The thing with Outland, there's a lot of, I mean, you're talking 1981 here, and so there's a lot of like silly things that they have, especially in the medical area, where they put that the woman of the night, I will put it in a nicer way than they put it in the film. They put her in what looks like an MRI machine. Yeah. And they're saying, oh, she'll be fine. This will heal her or whatever. Like this will and even the doctor, she admitted, look, I'm barely even qualified to use any of this stuff, but
she was saying that she could identify certain things, but she wasn't like a scientist who could discover all these different molecules and stuff like that.
So when the marshal found, you know, the sample of the drug that was being used by these guys, there was this whole, it almost felt like a 10-minute sequence of them waiting for the machine to like identify what was going on, and it was it was silly lines like, oh, what's this, oh, I didn't expect to see that, like stuff like this. I mean, it was, some of the scenes drag on a little bit. There are some pacing issues, and I think that even though they're doing an homage to High Noon, I think maybe they went a little far with the clock thing. They had too many scenes with him watching the clock, and just the existential dread of knowing what's coming for him, and him talking to his wife and reconciling with his wife and son a little bit towards the end of the film. I mean, you know, typical stuff in it, but still very, very much enjoyable film. I'm glad that this was that I ended my Arrow video run on a high note. Because we're about to get into some, before we get to Criterion, I've got a couple of boutique labels that, because I'm just going in alphabetical order, that it will be interesting. We'll see before I get to all my Criterion stuff.
I gave the movie a 7 out of 10. I would you know, if it used Ratzenberger a little more, gave him some lines to speak,
Yeah, I mean, the assassins really didn't have.
No,
There was some very
they weren't really
one-note,
characters. They were just
really one-note
guys
characters
to take out.
But yeah, I mean, I'm excited to hear what is coming off of your shelf. Are we sticking with Criterion, or are we moving to something else?
So I thought about moving to something else, but instead I'm going to stick with Criterion. I'm going to go with 1931's M, directed by Fritz Lang, starring Peter Lorre.
I've never seen it. I have heard of it, obviously. Very excited. Very excited to watch
Peter Lorre. So.
Oh yeah, Peter Lorre. Yeah, I mean I only really know him from Casablanca, and was he also in? Oh, what's the other Humphrey Bogart one? Oh, I can't remember it off the top of my head.
He's been in a ton of things.
Yeah, I think he was in another.
He's always a great, really creepy guy.
Yeah,
or sometimes mistaken for being creepy because he looks kind of creepy.
So. he does. He's got the bulging eyes, a little, just like the weird face. Yeah, he's a good actor though. I'm excited to.
Yeah, he's in Maltese Falcon, which maybe
that's what it was. That was the other one that I was trying to pull. Maltese Falcon. Yep. So I've seen him in a couple things. So now I'll be able to see him in M as well.
Yeah, German film. It's on HBO Max, streaming now. So
excellent.
Also Criterion. So
excellent.
I earlier this week, before I left to go to school, did watch The Devil Wears Prada. So I do want to touch on that before we
the first one. Okay.
Yeah.
I chose not to rewatch it. I didn't care enough to rewatch it. Sorry, Devil Wears Prada. I didn't rewatch you.
Well, I had never seen it before, so I thought, I may as well watch it before I go see the sequel if we're going to cover that. So, I enjoyed it.
It is
Meryl
a fun
Streep
movie.
Is fantastic in the movie.
Yep.
Stanley Tucci is incredible as a side character, but he's incredible in the film.
He's great.
Anne Hathaway is good. She serves her role. If you've got another charismatic, young, kind of, beautiful woman from that time in that role, she'd probably serve fine there no matter what. But Emily Blunt is really good. I've never seen Emily Blunt that young, I think, on film.
That was one of her first roles. She's been in some other things, obviously, but I mean that was kind of what people would call her breakthrough role.
Yeah. And I didn't realize David Frankel came back for the sequel to direct.
And the same writers, I believe, too.
Yeah, you may be right. I did not look into that hardcore.
Yeah, McKenna and Weisberg, I believe it's the same writing team.
But I enjoyed it. It's I think it's well written. It's not necessarily something I would go out of my way to watch normally, but I'm glad I did watch it because I think there's some really, really good stuff in there. So
and what it did, it certainly created a massive fan base. Like to the point where people were very excited, and box office is reflecting that. Very excited for the sequel.
Yeah, well, and here's an interesting kind of comparison. So Devil Wears Prada does like what 260 worldwide in 06, which is fine, and especially for the budget, it was good.
Yeah.
But then people have grown up with it on DVD and streaming since then.
Yep.
And then to compare that with something like Blade Runner, where that movie bombed at the box office, and became a cult classic on video, and then he made a sequel out of it, and the sequel bombed. I love both those films.
Gosh,
but
they're so good. Yeah.
This is the kind of sequel that I'm surprised doesn't happen more often, where you take a film that was successful and sometimes you are like, why haven't they made a sequel about that?
I mean, we've certainly gotten some examples of it. I haven't looked at the numbers, and I'm confused as to why we're getting a second Practical Magic film.
Well, that one bombed.
The first one. So it'll be interesting to see if there was any fan base at all. I finally was forced to watch the preview just because
it kind of sneak dissing Practical Magic 2, actually, right there. I was kind of like, why are we making this film?
I don't understand why we're making this film. I mean, look, that argument can be made for everything. I'm glad that there's movies. I get it, but it's just like,
and look, there was some murmuring about it in my theater, so it was smart to put it in front of Devil Wears Prada too.
Yeah, I'd rather Sandra Bullock be doing other sequels than this one, though. Like, why not have a Lost City 2? I mean, that should have been a no-brainer, and it never happened. But or has yet to happen. Could happen.
Is that the 22 film?
Yeah, that was the one with her and Channing Tatum. That was
Yeah.
really enjoyable, fun rom-com watch.
Yeah.
And no follow-up. No, like, hey, this did really good box office numbers. Let's not make a sequel. It doesn't make sense. But the sequel, Devil Wears Prada 2. My gosh, I have never been so close. Now, I saw this at 10:15. So that was my fault seeing it too late, probably. But I have never been so close to just walking out of a movie because I was so bored. Like I was there's no laughs in it. Like there's maybe one or two. And I can attest to that because there wasn't many people in my 10:15 showing, but I heard maybe 2 laughs like the whole time in this over 2-hour movie. Like 2 laughs, and this is supposed to be a comedy. And I was flabbergasted as far as like what was up on screen. I didn't get it.
I had really mixed time with this film. Fresh off of seeing the first one, I saw this on Friday heading out of Athens. I was in Athens for the week, and I went to their cinema there, the Georgia Theater Company cinema there, which is great because there's 2 PLFs in there.
Oh.
And they made one in IMAX a couple years ago. So one's IMAX and the other one's a GTX. So the thing I normally go to.
Okay.
The Michael was still in IMAX because I'm sure they have a 2 or 3 week contract. And Devil Wears Prada was in the GTX. So now I've been in both theaters because I saw Thunderbolts in the IMAX last year. And I was in the GTX this year. There's like a maze to get in there.
Interesting.
It was kind of weird. You had to go like in a hallway, and then it's really just going up the stairs, but then there's a ramp around, I guess, for wheelchairs, and I took the ramp for a second. I went, where am I going?
That's so funny.
But I sat in the theater, lights went down. It's huge. It's probably bigger than our GTX, which I was surprised by. The screen's about the same size, but there's more seating, less big comfy chairs, more smaller padded chairs, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That like lean back when you sit in them. They're kind of interesting. But the movie starts. I guess at first I'm kind of like, okay, we're making a film about woe is me for journalism right now. And in some ways, I get it. I do also not love the death of paper.
I agree.
Magazines and newspapers and stuff like that. And it seems like a logical place to really start your film. But at the same time, some of the stories she's coming up with, I'm like, well, I can see why you're
right. And that's the thing that no one ever talks about. Like when all these magazines die, it's not necessarily because they're losing well, they're probably losing subscribers because the articles being written are so dumb.
Well, I mean, that even happens when she gets to
Runway,
because she's writing elevated articles for Runway now.
Yes, exactly.
Nobody wants to read them because they're not the thing the average person wants to read. Yeah. You have to cater to an audience, which she figures out a way to balance that basically as the film goes on. But the only redeeming thing in this film for me was Stanley Tucci.
I was about to say the same thing. He's the only reason to watch the film.
Yes, I thought he picked up where he left off.
Yeah.
My problem with Miranda in this movie is too much emotion. I get it. They're going for an emotional story, but Miranda in the first film, she very rarely shows emotion, and it's kind of special when she does.
Yeah.
Kind of like lets you have a peek behind the veil.
Exactly.
They tried to keep it up at sometimes, but then sometimes it's like full on. Like she's having a breakdown, and I'm like, this is not what I want to see as a 1 week Devil Wears Prada fan.
Yeah, the majority of the new cast is also super annoying. The only person that I really liked was Kenneth Branagh. I liked his character a lot.
But why is he in the film, really?
Exactly. I mean, he's just there to have Miranda have open conversations and
have an anchor in her life,
have an anchor in her life. Exactly.
Yeah.
I liked his character, but as far as any of the other new characters,
I don't know why. And it's because I think Branagh's played so many villains in recent years.
Right.
And I was just expecting for him to like be the ultimate villain,
have a villainous turn.
Yeah. And then nothing happened, and I was like, oh, he's just a normal guy who's.
Yeah, I was upset that he wasn't giving us his Russian accent.
Yeah, exactly. He secretly had a Russian. He was taking over Runway. He was buying it himself.
Yeah, exactly. That would have been nice. Speaking of taking over Runway, Justin Theroux was obnoxious.
Yeah.
Obnoxious.
Yeah.
I understand
I
the idea of the tech, the .com magnate is what he was going for, but I
think he gave the performance the correct performance. I think the writing was more obnoxious than him.
Oh yeah, I think that the script is horrible. I think that there's just nothing. It was so surprising because you've got such talented people on screen, and it just felt really dull the whole time to me. Like nobody was really there to do anything, to try and do anything special. It just feels like your typical cash grab sequel, and it's working. I mean, it's doing very well. But
the weird thing is, they all held out for a long time until they had the right script, quote unquote. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
and I don't really think this is a great script. I agree with you, and the love interest is just weird and bizarre for Andy.
Very strange. The Australian dude, very strange.
I don't think he gives a bad performance. I just think the writing. Why are they together? I don't. It's a weird pairing.
He was also very dull. I mean, there was like no magnetism at all to the guy, and I love Australians, especially Aussie Nate. But I mean,
yeah, exactly.
He's just I don't know. I was just disappointed. I mean, I can't imagine that anybody. What did this end up with? A B- on the cinema score? Or
I thought it was A-.
Oh, was it A-? That's really surprising because, and I have seen reviews, like good reviews for this movie, and it's kind of shocking to me because it's not good.
First one got a B, and this one got an A-. But
surprising because it doesn't feel like a crowd pleaser.
No, I could see where it could in some cities, but I don't really feel like it.
Middle America is not going to care about this movie. No, I'm just kidding.
No, well, it probably won't. The box office this weekend's coming in at 77 million, which is good.
That's good.
Wide box office is even better. It's like 240 something worldwide, which is the second biggest opening of the year. And look, Disney put this in a primetime slot. They put it in the opening weekend. They put it in the Avengers slot.
Yeah.
It's where Doomsday was, and they moved Devil Wears Prada here to give Doomsday some time. They gave it a huge marketing budget. Not, Avengers huge, but they gave it a big marketing budget.
I mean, there's a lot of product tie-ins.
And it's only $100 million picture. Now, I say only, but I mean, $100 million is pretty cheap for a big summer tentpole. So
right, yeah. I mean, and you mentioned Avengers. I mean, this is like an Avengers film in the sense that you're bringing back old favorites, throwing in obnoxious cameos, but none of it works. Like, whereas with Avengers, it works.
It's funny. I had to click off a guy's YouTube video who's reviewing this. I don't want to go too hard in on somebody else, but the guy brought up the fact that it does these things like a Marvel movie, but I thought it worked here. And I was like,
it doesn't work here. It's the opposite of working. Like, none of these cameos worked. Lady Gaga, and that's not a spoiler. I think she was announced
a long time ago.
Her scene with Meryl Streep was just the weirdest scene.
Yeah.
I don't understand any of it. Anyways, and unfortunately this weekend, the only thing that I kind of had fun with was Deep Water. That was the only, or whatever it's called. I think it's Deep Water. I don't know. That was the only thing I kind of had fun with, because Hokum I did not have much fun with at all.
Yeah. You want to talk about Hokum?
We can talk about it briefly. It's hard to talk about that without spoiling too much.
Well, I think, look, the trailers don't give much away, but I think what you can say is that he is a selfish writer. Adam Scott is playing a selfish writer.
Sure. It's an understatement.
who is writing the conclusion of a trilogy of books.
Very successful,
not really spoiler
writer.
And he's visiting a hotel in Scotland or Ireland?
Ireland.
Ireland, that's right. Where his parents had their honeymoon, but also the current honeymoon suite is quote unquote haunted, and he's a skeptic. So that's about as unspoilery as you can get.
And I think the thing that frustrated me about this,
I think a good setup, by the way.
I think a great setup, but I think that the thing that ends up frustrating me about the ending is that they were trying to be just super ambiguous about what happened. Like they were in the end, even at almost the last scene, they were trying to tell the audience, maybe this did happen, maybe it didn't happen.
Well, I don't think that's what it was saying. And that's tough to. So I know what you're saying.
Yeah,
But after thinking about it, I think what it was trying to say was that the people around you will find a way to dismiss the supernatural event.
Right.
But yet, when you look down at your wrist, you see the supernatural event.
Yeah.
So that's about as unspoilery.
Or do you? No, I'm just kidding.
Because it wouldn't make sense for that thing. So he was knocked out in the hospital for a week.
Yes. Yeah.
It would not make sense for to have still been affecting him, I feel like, a week later. But I don't know. I'm not an expert on that kind of stuff.
Yeah, who knows?
We could bring on Rhett. Maybe he knows about that kind of stuff. But
no, mushrooms, yeah, he does. No, I'm just kidding. But look, and I'll briefly talk about Deep Water. Is that what it's called? I don't even know if that's what it's called.
Yeah, it's Rennie Harlin's new film, Deep Water. Yeah,
and Rennie Harlin. As far as where he is in his career, he's a director for hire. So from a creative standpoint, he's just out there to shoot the film. Now, he does a great job with probably the budget he was given. And it's really fun. It's just a fun roller coaster ride of a movie. This has Aaron Eckhart and Ben Kingsley. I'm sorry, Sir Ben Kingsley.
I was surprised to see he was in the cast.
Well, he's also at a point in his career where he's pretty much agreeing to do everything, which is strange to me. It's funny, like actors his age can go both ways with that. Like they'll only want to be like, I think Michael Caine towards the end of his career was still picking and choosing what he was in. Whereas Kingsley signs on for everything. Like I
feel like he talks like he's more selective, but
he's not. If you look at his filmography,
here's something interesting. The 2026 shark thriller Deep Water, is projected at $40 million budget. The 2022 Hulu film starring Ana de Armas and Ben Affleck called Deep Water was a $49 million budget. I feel like you might have gotten more out of the shark film.
I think that probably the majority of that budget is the necessity for visual effects and CG.
Probably $40 million is pretty good for a giant shark plane crash movie.
But this is, I would want to say that this is below a mid-tier budget film. Like, I don't know what we're calling mid-tier anymore, but 40 million is a little high because it's not going to make that back. It's a little higher than
it's high, but I don't feel like they spent a ton on marketing. I'll just say that.
No, they didn't. In fact, I think the only way that I knew this was a shark movie was because of the poster. Like, I barely remember there being much shark stuff in the trailer that I saw. Maybe there was, and I just wasn't paying attention. But I thought it was more of like a plane crash movie. But it does a great job of combining both things.
I saw a trailer for this a couple weeks ago in front of some film. I can't remember what it was now, but I went, "Oh, geez, Rennie Harlin doing a shark movie. Oh no!"
Right. Well, he did look deep. Or wait, what was the other one that he did?
I know, Deep Blue Sea or whatever.
Deep Blue Sea. He's like, that's iconic, man. That's a fun movie.
Yeah,
it's a fun B movie.
The other day, yesterday, when I was on social media, a video came up with Gene Simmons promoting this movie because apparently he's like one of the big producers on it, which I did not realize.
Oh, he must have. His name wasn't in the credits that I can remember, but he must be on one of those funds or something. Like he must be an investor in one of those funds that covered the movie.
He is a big producer in the film, apparently.
That's interesting.
And he was like, "I wanted to make a fun movie, blah blah blah," and
it is. It's a fun movie. And there's nothing. It's a pretty straightforward. Plane crashes. Some people die, some people survive. You get to know certain characters. They do a great job of having all the different like archetype characters that you would think would be in one of these plane movies. There's a jerk. There's a family flying together. There's a single woman. There's a grandma. Like they want to have every single type of, so you can hate the guy that's the jerk, and you can feel sorry for the grandma. You can feel sorry for the family. I mean, they do a good job of all of that. Very, very like paint by numbers type of thing, but it still succeeded in an enjoyable cinematic experience. I'll say that for it.
And it did not have the lowest cinema score of the weekend. That actually came from an Angel Studios release. There's not many times you can say that.
Oh, really? Okay.
Angel usually has A's and.
Oh yeah, is this the week that Animal Farm went wide?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought that was like several weeks ago, because I feel like that movie has been talked about for weeks on end.
Well, yeah, they did.
People are upset
about. They did screenings pretty early on.
Yeah.
To try to get people to combat the narrative that it was this thing or this thing, and obviously that didn't help.
Such a strange movie to be directed by Andy Serkis.
Strange cast too.
Strange cast. Like everything about that whole project felt weird from the beginning. I have no intention of seeing it at all.
Seth Rogen, Gaten Matarazzo, Steve Buscemi, Glenn Close, Kieran Culkin, Woody Harrelson, Jim Parsons, Andy Serkis, Iman Vellani.
Right? Yeah. It's very strange, all of it. I mean, it did get the one moment because Iman Vellani and Andy Serkis are, obviously involved. They were being interviewed together.
Yeah.
And Andy Serkis spilled the beans that she is in Doomsday.
Well, he said, I'm excited to see you in Doomsday. But
she said, you can't say that.
Yeah.
So one of those typical interview moments.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, out of this weekend, I mean, I think the one that I had the most fun in was Deepwater. Hokum is not poorly made at all. I think it's well made.
Directing style wise, I'd say he reminds me a lot of guy who did Long Legs, but specifically when he was doing Long Legs.
Osgood Perkins. Yeah, I think I agree with that. Yeah.
He does this kind of wide camera angle thing that Osgood was doing with Long Legs, and just kind of give you a sense of dread. There's some really great set design there. My frustration comes more with the fact on that film that I don't love where they take things, like you said.
I didn't love where they take things. And some of the sound cues annoyed me. That's just by seeing so many of these horror films like this, which, gosh, it's so crazy. Like, I would have never been seeing this many horror films, but I think more often than not, it does allow for the most creative of type of film. But when you've seen so many, the sound cues can get annoying when they're overused. There was some overused sound cues in this.
Well, and there were a lot of jump scares. I had a guy sitting in front of me that I was like screaming at half the jump scares. And I
will say that I went on a Saturday night to an 8:00 screening of it, sold out.
Mine was
smaller theater, but sold out.
Yeah, mine was in one of the smaller theaters at our theater, and it was a midday Saturday, and it was not sold out, but for the crowds we see here, it was like half sold out, which is kind of crazy.
I'm the same way. I was surprised. It was so sold out that, with the way movie theaters are now, at least most places are assigned seating. And so there was this like younger couple that was down on the very front row, and they're obviously not like, they don't go to movies often, because they kept looking behind them to see if there was any seats available. And the movie had started, they got up and moved, but two people came in late. And I'm like, it's just the way it is sometimes. And so they had to move way back down. It was just so funny. I just watched the whole interaction, and I'm like, you shouldn't have got up and moved. You should have I know you don't want to sit in the very front, but you came up to a sold out screening. You knew what you were getting yourself into. So it's just,
I was surprised, because I went up to the theater and I opened up the website real quick. Just because I like looking at it. And before I go in, and I was like, holy cow, why did I not pre-purchase a ticket? Because I haven't done that a lot for things that aren't, like an Avengers or a Dune or whatever, because I haven't needed to. And then this time I was like, wow, all the good seats were taken.
Yeah, no, I mean, I got kind of lucky because I went solo, and so I was able to find a seat in between some people that was still a good seat or whatever. But the way that AMC A-List works is, and I saw 3 movies this weekend, so I was and I've got some like pre-orders already done for like Mortal Kombat and Mandu and Grogu, so I was having to like sort of manipulate and wait until I've seen a movie, and then the A-List reservation opens back up. Once you've seen the movie, you get a slot available again. So I was having to kind of wait to see what seats I could get sometimes. It's the nature of our particular market. We had 4 AMCs in town, and we're down to just 3. And the one that's closest to me now is actually the most busy of all 3 of them. And it's not even the IMAX one.
That's
it's just
both
the nature of where I am.
Thing.
It is. It is.
I like it when the theater's busy, but sometimes it's also nice when you're just by yourself.
Yeah.
Or sparsely populated.
Yeah, the one that has our IMAX, and this is the one I'm so afraid is going to shut down because there's no one ever there. It's just like one of those theaters that will be busy during the summer, but in the off season, like during school, there's like not many people ever going to that theater, and it makes me worried that it's going to shut down eventually. But just because AMC's wanting to shut down everything to save money because they're hemorrhaging money constantly. But yeah. I mean, I wish I could say like go see The Devil Wears Prada 2, but I just did not enjoy. Like I was just so bored with that movie.
Does not get the Cinema Debrief seal of approval.
When I understand that it's not for me, it's not a movie like it's a chick flick for lack of a better term, and it's doing well. It's like financially doing very well, and I do want that type of movie to be in theaters often, and I think it's doing so well because there's really not that type of movie in theaters that often anymore.
Yeah, no, there's a real need for actual movies for women to go see instead of the problem they've had in the industry.
And to think about it, I mean, that's why the Colleen Hoover movies are doing so well. I mean, based upon budget, they're not necessarily like $100 million films, but based upon budget. And there's a couple of those Sydney Sweeney films that have done really well. I mean,
the problem is they want to make $200 million movies that appeal to women. Where that works with Barbie, sort of. It's not a $200 million picture, but you get what I'm saying. But like even male-centered $200 million pictures, they're not always going to work out.
We've seen that a couple times this year, like Mercy and Crime 101.
Really,
I didn't do great.
You're going to see things start going towards the housemaid route, where that movie cost what, $40 million all in or something crazy, and made 400.
So
so.
What was the one before that did pretty well? That was anyone but you.
But also there was not that anyone wants to bring it up, but It Ends With Us did really well at the time.
It did. I mean, and the whole like book club aspect of some of these movies, because Colleen Hoover was a popular author first. The author that did Where the Crawdads Sing, I know that's a couple years ago, but that's a good movie to look at that had a really low budget that ended up financially like doing really well, and it was in theaters for a really long time. A lot of times that type of movie, if they keep it in theaters more than 45 days, I don't know if you have the numbers in front of you for Where the Crawdads Sing, but
it was 24 million budget, 144 million worldwide.
That's insane. I mean, that is insane how well that movie did.
It did really well. I remember going to see it in 22.
Yeah, I went and saw it too.
It had like a Taylor Swift song attached too, which
exactly. but that was the book club crowd. Like that book was super popular before the movie came out, and that's an untapped. I mean,
absolutely, it's starting to become more tapped.
It's starting, like Hollywood's starting to understand and do all these Colleen Hoover films.
I think it used to be the thing, and then major blockbusters took over. That was kind of my point I was trying to make earlier.
Yeah,
Major
right.
blockbusters took over, and then and studios saw the return on profit for that stuff. I mean, it's huge when a major blockbuster blows up. It's massive, but we've got to get back to some mid-budget in some way.
And I don't know if we'll ever get back to like the 90s when stuff like Fried Green Tomatoes and movies like that end up.
You don't
doing
have
really well.
DVD to supplement it, unfortunately.
There's that really good interview that I like to bring up because it's that Matt Damon did a couple years ago when he was talking about what has happened to Hollywood is due to the fact that the DVD market is so different and not. And
streaming streaming isn't as lucrative for people making the films.
Nope.
Definitely isn't. It is for Netflix specifically, really.
Yeah.
Very lucrative.
So what did we decide our focus is going to be for this coming weekend?
We're going to cover Mortal Kombat 2.
Yeah, we are.
Release that delayed out of last year's October, and
I guess it did,
also The Sheep Detective, which I'm very excited about.
And that's another one of those quote unquote mid-budget films that Amazon MGM is really. I think that's an Amazon MGM, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, and it feels like it's coming at a good time. I think it's Amazon as well. Yeah, it is. It feels like it's coming at a good time, though. You've got two kind of adult, not adult necessarily. Michael's not adult necessarily, but if you look at the numbers, Michael and Devil Wears Prada are female skewed films.
Yes.
If you look at the numbers, Mortal Kombat will probably be male skewed in terms of audience.
Probably.
Just
no, you're realistic. You're right.
And this is a kids film, and I think the market has needed a kids film.
Is it? I didn't realize it was a kids film. I thought it was PG-13.
Yeah,
it was a kids
I say the market's needed a kids film. I guess Super Mario came out, but that's
yeah.
This could be a really.
You're right.
Really
it's only
one.
PG. I didn't realize that. Okay. So this is being marketed as kind of a family film. I don't know that I understood that from the one trailer that they've released. It didn't feel like, I get the comparisons to Babe, Pig in the City or whatever, but
I've had friends who've seen it in other countries.
And they've already seen the movie?
Yes. And really enjoyed it and compared it more to a tone of like Paddington. So
see, I think that they've done a poor job of marketing that in that way then, because I did not gather that at all. I thought it was going to be like a murder mystery type situation.
There is a mystery.
Yeah.
And someone's been, at least I think we think, is murdered.
That's what the trailer,
and I've heard the mystery is solid, but it's really...
It's all about the animals.
Kids. Yeah, it's a kids
okay,
film.
Cool. I'm excited to see it even more now because I think that Paddington was so successful in that particular type of genre.
Maybe I shouldn't hype it up too much.
Well, no, I mean, I think that it's getting pretty good reviews.
It is, yeah.
So I think it's fair to hype it up. I don't know this director, Kyle Balda. He's a British director.
How many people knew Paul King when Paddington came out?
Well, that's true. I guess nobody did. He directed the Minions movie. So yeah, he did the Lorax. Okay, so
it's his break into live action.
Yeah, it's his kind of his break into live action because he's only done animated stuff. Looking at his, okay, cool, good for him. Now I'm even more excited to see the Sheep Detectives now. It'll be a nice juxtaposition to Mortal Kombat 2 because I've heard that is uber violent.
Yeah, of course. If you saw the first one, and I don't mean the 90s one, but the one that came out in 21.
Right.
Yeah, it was very violent.
Again, they're waiting too long on some of these sequels in some ways.
Also delaying that one. I still don't know why they did that, but
it makes no sense. But whatever.
But where can people find you online, Mike?
Yes, I am at the Michael Nip on X, but spend most of my time on Letterboxd under Michael Nip, and of course the Cinema Debrief Discord is where the majority of my online social media time goes. I will let Garrison tell you more about that, though.
You can find me on Twitter at GRyfun3, GRYFUN3. You can find me on Letterboxd at GRyfun. You can find us at Cinema Debrief on Instagram and Twitter. You can also email us at cinemadebriefpod@gmail.com for access to our Discord, which is a great community of people. We've got, I don't know how many people in there, 40, 50 people in there.
It's like 45 people, yeah, something like that.
Yeah, who a lot of them are active or semi-active on there and chime in and listen to the podcast. Earl obviously has been super excited as he watched not High Noon, but Outland before this episode came out.
High Noon in Space.
Yeah. So we'd love to have you join our community there, and we'll see you guys next week for Mortal Kombat 2 and the Sheep Detective.